Welcome to the Owners Club podcast, the show where we open the doors to real conversation with real business owners. I'm your host, Sean Ziari. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. Tell me where you're calling from. Where you? Why do I keep saying
I am in
calling? Like
Charleston.
this is a radio show.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're supposed to say long-time listener, first-time caller. Where are you right now?
I'm in Charleston, South Carolina.
Nice. How's the weather in South Carolina?
It is hot and humid. We just had a tropical storm come through.
I saw. It was hurricane, whatever it was called.
Tropical storm Chantel.
Yeah.
No hurricanes.
Yeah. My
It
hometown
kind
of,
of passed us by a little bit, hit like Myrtle Beach area,
yeah.
a little north.
So I don't know if you've been following the news. The flooding in Texas is right where my hometown is.
I heard that the Guadalupe
Yeah.
River.
Same thing happened 10 years ago. In fact, I need to text a friend of mine because her and I went looking for bodies. It was really creepy. But yeah,
a girl sleeping in my camp. Yeah, I think Adriana and I were looking at a campground, RV park campground that was right on the Guadalupe River. So I'm kind of glad we didn't pursue that.
Yeah, every 10 years, the San Gabriel River is kind of weirdly structured. So when the flash floods come in the, over the hill country in Texas, man, it just dumps.
We get a lot of flash floods, but they're really good about warning people that it's coming. So we get.
Sounds good. Are you? Go ahead. Yeah, I mean, we can talk about weather all day, but I want to find out more about you. So, are you originally from South Carolina?
No, we are originally from St. Louis.
Nice.
My husband was transferred here. He was an engineer with Boeing. So
that was my first airline job.
Yeah.
Yeah. In St. Louis.
In St. Louis, he worked on the F-18.
TWA. I'm old.
Yeah. Oh, McDonnell Douglas.
Yeah. Yeah. I was there when the Boeing across the tarmac was still open.
Oh, okay.
That fighter jets there.
Yeah, that's where John worked on the wing. He was on the wing team for the F-18s. And then he was pulled into Seattle for like 6 months to work on the 787s. And then when they opened the plant down here, they called him and asked him to come down here. And that's how we ended up in South Carolina 15 years ago.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Kids, you and John, how long have you been together?
We've been together 37 years, and we have 3 grown daughters and 5 grandkids.
Oh, God bless. You have grandbabies.
They all live here, which is really nice because I know that's blessed right now. It might not always be that way, but
yeah, I have a daughter in Manhattan and I have a daughter in Seattle and I'm in Gig Harbor. So yeah, all over the place. I don't have any grandkids, but I have grandpas.
we have some of those too.
Furry babies. Yeah.
Our youngest daughter has 2 fur babies. So yeah,
tell me about how you got to Sub 2 or Gator or how you got to Owners Club.
So my background is I was director of operations for a real estate brokerage here in Charleston for 12 years. So I was kind of exposed to a lot of different things. And I remember one training they were talking about, they had somebody come in to talk to us about real estate investing. And it was kind of like, here, you can buy a condo and rent it out type thing. And I remember coming home and saying, John, we could do this. We could take the equity in our house and go buy a condo and it'd be so easy. And once we started really diving into real estate investing, we figured out it was a lot more than that. If you really wanted to have a successful business. So we started diving into it like 2 years before we retired from our W-2s. And we joined.
What year is this now?
This is 2022.
Okay.
Early 2022. So I had joined Women's Real Estate Investing Network. And it exposed us to things we'd never heard of before, which was great. but it was only a 4-month mentorship. And I really wasn't getting a lot out of it. So I came across Homeschooled. I saw an ad on Facebook for Tarek El Moussa's Homeschooled. And what caught my eye was they were talking about how they have a CRM that's already built and you get to use it. And at the time, the brokerage was, we were transferring everything to a new CRM. So I was
Mm-hmm.
like, gosh, if it's already built out, that's wonderful. Um, we signed up with them and they were great. We were with them for 10 months. We had our own um, coach, Coach Cheryl, that we met with every other week. And she helped us get through our first flip. And I found it on Facebook Marketplace. So, we made money off it, so we were happy.
Yeah.
Uh, we but I was exposed to Pace and Jamil on one of their trainings. So I reached out to both Pace and Jamil, and Pace's guy is the first one that called me. Um, and we were right in the middle of finishing up our flip. And I was like, I can't sign up for anything else right now. We've just got to, we're on a deadline. We have to get this finished. Because I just came to my husband and said, I scheduled a photographer and a stager for this date. So we've got 2 weeks. Um, so, but he would call us every couple weeks and check in on us and see how we were doing and offer our advice. So as soon as we finished our flip and sold it, we sold it like May 31st. We joined sub to like January or June 5th or something like that. So, and right when we joined is when I think we joined in June and August, they started Top Tier TC.
Mm-hmm.
So, and having done like, I was over the closing and listing departments in the brokerage. So having done like 2,000 real estate closings, I thought, oh, this is a simple transition. Not so simple.
Mm-hmm.
Creative real estate transactions are a lot more involved than just a traditional real estate transaction.
Yeah.
And
That's what makes it so fun. Every deal is different
every
and
deal is different. Well, even with the traditional, every deal is different. There's no
mm-hmm.
two that are alike because of all the personalities that are involved and the
Sure.
property is different. And so what was great is I had a lot of closing knowledge. Because a contract is a contract, you're going to follow the dates. I mean, that's pretty basic. But we went to Squad Up in April because I remember I turned to John. I said, "We need to do this. We need to go to Squad Up and be around other people that are doing the same thing that we're doing." Because we didn't know anybody around us that was doing what we wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
We hadn't like really plugged in yet. And I think I went to one meetup. I think we found one meetup. That was when we were on Discord. And so the first time, and we went to our first meetup and I met some,
It's back.
yeah. And I think it's a little more organized this time.
We hope.
And but we didn't really have, we just weren't getting everything we needed. And so he we went to Squad Up and it just opened up all kinds of doors for us. Because we went there, we were exposed to Owners Club and decided that was something that wanted to be in the room. We wanted to be in that room. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
somebody came up to me and said, her name is Teresa Everson, and she's in Squad Up or Sub 2. She's out of Virginia. She came up to me and she said, I don't know who you are. Tell me your story. So we started talking, and she had a mobile home park opportunity in Greenville, South Carolina, and wanted to know if we were interested. So we were like, send us the information. So we became limited partners in a 100-unit mobile home park in Greenville.
Good
Uh,
for you.
yeah,
That's awesome. You took action right there and
we
then.
actually took some action.
That's awesome.
Um,
That's so important. You could have all the mentorship in the world, but if you don't take action, it's like having a Lamborghini in the garage that you just don't
don't
drive
drive. Yeah,
ever. Yeah.
yeah. So we
Please continue.
It's funny. I read something today where this guy was saying, my mentor told me to go to the store and buy a can of Goya beans. And he said, why? And he's like, just do it. So he went to the store and bought the beans and came back. And he said, okay, I bought the beans. Here's the picture. And he says, okay, you took action. That's
Simple as
the
that.
thing.
Yeah.
He goes, and guess what? Goya stands for get off your ass.
Oh, I love that.
Keep that can of beans on your desk. So whenever you feel like you're unmotivated or you're just stuck, look at that can of beans and um, it'll show you to take action. So I thought that was pretty appropriate.
I love it. If this
So
podcast Owners Club gets popular, the Goya sales are going to go through the
yeah,
roof because everybody's going to want one on their desk right in
throwing a
front.
can of beans on their
Get off
desk.
your ass. Yeah. I got to text that to Pace. He
Yeah,
will like that.
yeah. I
Yeah.
think somebody, I don't know, it was somebody in, I don't know, it was Owner Clubs or Sub 2 that posted it, but I thought it was very appropriate. Um,
Hmm.
so we went to, after we went to Squat Up, we came back and we were exposed to a self-directed IRA. So before we retired, we pulled some money out of our company's 401ks and opened up a self-directed. And from there, we have done private money lending. We bought a turnkey rental property in Alabama through a company called Spartan Invest. What they do. They buy the properties, renovate it, and then you can buy them from them, and they'll
Yeah.
manage the rentals for you.
Yeah. I'm familiar with them. Yeah.
Yeah, so we did that. And then so we've done that. We've done just different investments here and there. Um, but it was kind of like, when we were talking with Owners Club and they were talking about the Mount Everest and all that. So then our Mount Everest, we started talking and, everything's expensive everywhere and Charleston is really expensive. And, we have a daughter
It is
that
definitely a destination. I love Charleston.
it's
Like
a
that.
destination, but it's expensive for the people who live and work here.
Yep.
Um,
I can imagine.
it just got worse after COVID. So knowing that, we had a daughter that was struggling to be able to afford housing and, my mom was down in Orlando and she was living in a senior apartment paying 500 and something dollars a month. But if she was here with us, she couldn't afford anything. And so we don't have a whole lot of, I think, services for seniors. We have some, but not a whole lot.
Hmm.
And um, so that's where the co-living and affordable housing really resonated with us. So our goal is to start with our first goal is 10 co-living properties. Um, and then we'll go from there. But I also want to get into mobile home parks because if you have a family, that's an affordable way to get a house. And a mobile home park can be a nice place to live. It doesn't have to be trashy. You can make it nice. I drove by one just today that looked like a regular neighborhood. You would never
Mm.
know it was a mobile home park except for the sign said mobile home park.
Yeah.
Um, but it was, I mean, the houses were landscaped and everything was really nice. And so why somebody who wants to live in a mobile home park should be proud to be able to drive into that park and pull up to their home.
Yeah.
Um, so from there, so that's kind of where my interest is, but we had a little like a little come to Jesus meeting because we kind
Oh,
of
I
got
want to ask about that because the last person that was here, Io Sunwoo, wants to ask you a question about partnership. So go on, please.
okay.
I'm really interested.
Yeah, so I came to the realization we kind of had like a we John and I kind of had like a come to Jesus meeting between us and we said, okay, what are we going to do for active income? Like what is going to be our thing? And because we have a good retirement, but we want to have an exceptional retirement is kind of what our
Hmm.
goal is. So he is working on wholesaling. And I'm like, okay, so that's one active income, and then fix and flips in Charleston and Savannah is my what I'm doing for active income. And then I'm also working on co-living properties for our Mount Everest. So I have come to the realization, or we came to the realization that we need partners, that we can't be an island, we can't do it all ourselves. So when we were at Owners Club in California, I ran into this Adam Cathledge, and he is the first person that I met at a meetup in South Carolina. And so we've kind
Yeah.
of always stayed
Shout out to
connected.
Adam.
Yeah, we kind of always stayed connected, but he's moved to California. He's not in South Carolina anymore. But we were sitting at breakfast one day, and he and I and some other ladies in Owners Club have kind of formed a group, and we are working on doing a ground up build for co-living in Dallas right now, and maybe Charlotte. So we've just had our first meeting last week. We're having our next one Wednesday. So he's done co-living a bit, so he's kind of
Hmm.
leading us. So we can learn from him and learn the ropes with pad split before we go out on our own, so to speak. So I can learn and then partner with somebody who's local with me in
Hmm.
Charleston or, the Southeast, um, Florida, Georgia, or North Carolina. So that's kind of, that was kind of like an eye-opening. I was so nervous about forming any type of partnership because we had not had a good experience with partners in our past. And so we were just really nervous about doing that again. But
How did IO know to ask this question from you?
I
It's
don't
that
know.
connection owner club
I don't
members
think I've
have
ever
with each
met
other.
him.
Yeah. Oh, he's amazing.
I've heard that. I've heard
Yeah.
he's
I mean, I
amazing.
think I think everyone's amazing. You are amazing. You and John, what you're trying to do with senior citizen and uh, having cash flow. I'm sure a lot of people who are listening and learning a lot. Uh, for those who don't know, who are not in the owners club, which I don't know why you're not, but what is Mount Everest and what does it mean to you? And tell me a little bit more about that. Let's drill
So our
down on
Mount
that.
Everest is, I can picture it like this. What is this big giant goal that seems unattainable to you? And how is that goal going to help somebody else or a group of people? Like, what are you going to do? How is that going to help you give back to society? And
Hmm.
so uh, our Mount Everest is to have um, 20 co-living homes, 2 mobile home parks, and 2 RV parks. Um, and I know that that might sound small to some people, but we're in our early 60s, and we want to work really, really hard for the next 5 to 7 years, and
Hmm.
then pull our foot off the gas pedal, um, and not have to not work as hard as we are right now. So,
Hmm.
um, and that will provide enough. It will help us give back to the community, and it will provide enough for us and create some generational wealth for our children and grandchildren.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll be able to teach other people along the way what we're doing, and how we're doing it so that we create an easier path for them. Um,
Hmm.
because it's all about that. I mean, I feel very grateful for the opportunities that we have, and want to give back. So, we just had a discussion that we're going to start. Um, I help out by fostering kittens for the local animal
Oh,
shelter.
nice.
Well, it's something that I can do. I tried puppies, they were just too much work. Uh, Kittens are easy. The shelter's overrun with kittens. So I bring in kittens for a week or two before they're old enough to get spayed and up for adoption.
Mm.
So we get the little babies. Um, and they provide everything, and it's just they need just somewhere to get some love. And so
Hmm.
my grandkids love it when we have kittens
Oh
here.
yeah. It's
Um,
a live toy. I mean, they're so
yeah,
cute.
they
Yeah.
they absolutely love it. And so, we're helping out the local shelter, and we also do some volunteer work for them. And then we John just said he wanted to do something else once a month, so we'll probably go to the food bank or Meals on Wheels or someplace like that and help
Hmm.
out once a month just to give back. Because it's all about the more you give, the more you get in return. And if you attract good things, you have a good vibration, it brings good things into your life. Um, so
Absolutely.
we're just trying to but here's the thing. So I want people to understand is it's not too late, depending on your age, to get started. You don't have to be in your 20s or 30s to do this. You can do it at any age. Um,
Hmm.
and if you've got money just sitting in your 401k, like we were watching the balance go down. So that's why we moved money to a solo 401k so we could invest it the way we wanted to invest it.
Hmm.
So we did a big private money loan for somebody that's earning us 20% interest. We're not earning 20% interest in our 401k,
No,
our retirement
not
accounts.
anytime soon. Yeah.
Yeah. So, we had a little more control over that. We were just talking about moving some more money over,
Hmm.
be able to do some other investments, and have a little more control over our future.
Yeah.
Uh, and because, everything, you just never know. Um, so that's kind of where, you can get by joining things like this, you can get exposed to things you never would have heard of had you not. Um, we went into the original Squad Up thinking everybody was doing fix and flips, and our eyes were just blown away because everybody's doing something different.
Hmm.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
Um, to sit down and have a conversation with someone who's doing something totally different than you, and you would never even have thought that was a possibility. I
Yeah.
would have never thought we could invest in a mobile home park, or a candy store.
Well, like you elegantly said, that's why your Mount Everest changes because your
Mhm.
perspective changes, and you see all these amazing things others are doing.
Right.
Please mention the other owner club members that you're working with. You just said ladies, so
Oh, so it's Adriana Pena and Elba Lupo and Gabrielle. I'm sorry, I don't know her last name. I can pull it up.
what
Um,
a powerhouse! Ah, yeah.
right. So Adrian and I have been friends for quite a while. Um, and we met at Day with Pace. And let me see if I can pull up Gabrielle's last name. And so we've always kind of we've had each other's backs the whole time.
Hmm.
Um, it doesn't have her last name on it.
Well, you and John are,
Curie,
yeah.
DeClure, Gabrielle DeClure. Um, so I met her, and then Elba is Adriana's partner, and Gabrielle just happened to be sitting at breakfast with us that morning.
Yeah.
So Adam's like, okay, I'm going to put together a Zoom, and we're going to meet on Tuesday, and we're going to get this started. So we all walked away with assignments, and so it's been it's good. It's like
Yeah,
it's
literally
fun to have more
every,
people involved in the project than just me.
absolutely, literally every podcast, someone had mentioned about a conversation that was happening in 3 in the morning or at breakfast that turned them in a different direction. And you're listening to those people and go, wow, cannot believe they're doing this. Or, wow, that's really cool. I want to do that as well. There were a lot of people in Monterey. Of all the people that you were there, who you didn't get a chance to say hello to? So if they're listening, they can reach out to you.
Oh,
You looked at them and you heard them talking, and you're like, man, I really would like to reach out to
I
them.
I saw Michael Manatsakanian, and I had just done his like mastermind boot camp like Zooms, and so I didn't get an opportunity to talk to him, and that would have been nice. And uh, there was another gentleman um, that I wanted to talk to. I didn't see him, so it was like, oh darn. Um, I didn't.
I'm texting Michael right now to reach out to you. Go on,
um, what's his
because
power?
this is what we do at the Owners Club. We connect people.
Well, I just wanted to, it's like I just wanted to tell him that I really appreciated the Zooms he was doing.
Oh yeah,
Actually, what
he's an incredible young man.
the
Yeah.
funny story is, like right when I finished my TC training, top tier TC, I interviewed with him and we discovered that we were looking for two different things.
Mm,
So he wanted someone who's going to work 40 hours plus a week and really build his team out. And I was looking for more like a boutique type of situation.
sure.
So we didn't connect. Like it was a very nice conversation, but what both of us wanted was something totally different.
Yeah, he is dynamic, and I have no doubt that you guys are going to be doing work together. I
Yeah,
think
I mean,
everybody in the Owners Club, I mean, that's the
went to
beauty of it.
his breakout room and listened in to his story for a little while, but I had just heard the story on uh,
Hmm.
his four Zooms that he did or trainings that he did. So
Hmm.
it was great to kind of hear him, see him in person doing that. And I know he's such a mover and a shaker. Um,
Lots of energy. Boy,
Lots of energy. Yeah,
I
yeah.
love
And
that guy. Yeah.
he was in the military, my husband was in the military, and they just kind of connected. But so it was good that I didn't go to work for him because it wasn't what I wanted to do. I realized that I do TC work if somebody calls me and asks me to, but I don't seek it out anymore,
Hmm.
because that's not where my passion is. Um, but I will certainly help anybody that asks me for help.
Okay.
So.
Well, he's going to text you pretty soon. He's just that kind of guy. He's just always helpful and trying to
Yeah.
help others. And that's pretty
Yeah.
much true for all the other 530 people in the
Oh,
room.
I know. It was kind of funny. I walked by Austin Marvel, who's from, in Charleston. He's like, Sue, I can't talk to you because I talked to you in Charleston. We'll talk next week.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I got to meet other people. And,
Yeah.
that's
But what I was
this,
really impressed
this,
with is I
yeah,
got to meet all the people in my pod. So I'm a chairman. I signed up to do that this year, and I've been so
good
impressed
for
with
you.
the people in my pod. And all the things that they're doing. I feel like they're just so much more advanced than I was when I joined Owners Club.
Hmm.
Um, and all the different things that they're doing, um, it's just amazing.
Hmm.
And it's fun to be a part of um, their growth and watching them through, in Owners Club and
Yeah.
uh, connecting with people and learning more. So um, it's been amazing being a part of that. Um, we were supposed to meet last week, but we decided since it was the day before the 4th of July, we were going to push it back. So everyone
Yeah.
enjoy the holiday. But yeah, I mean, so now John and I will tell you, I have joined my Matt Peckman's mindset coaching. It's like every Tuesday night. It's a big group of people, but
Hmm.
it really helps. I've read so the books I'm reading are Change Your Paradigm, Change Your Life.
Yeah. Recommend the book for us too that has helped you in
Yeah,
business,
I would
please.
recommend that book. It's an easy read, or get it on Audible and listen to it, and you want to read it over and over
Yeah.
again.
We'll put a
And
link to the Amazon for it, I'm sure. Yeah.
yeah, and then the other thing is, in chapter one, he recommends you listen to Earl Nightingale and the magic word. And the magic word is attitude, and how your attitude can affect everything, and how you might not feel that you don't belong in a room, but you do. You walk in with the attitude that you belong there. And
Hmm.
you should be working with they players, and you should be, this and that. You're supposed to listen to it every day for 30 days. It's 15 minutes long, but it's really good. And every time I listen to it, I hear something different.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in the middle of reading 10x is better than 2x. And so that's about how if you're just doing 2x work, you're never going to get anywhere. So pick what you're going to work on and give it your all. And it was great because the preface, the first example they used was Michelangelo and
Mm.
how he went in and studied cadavers
Right.
um, to learn how muscles move and how the veins look and all that before he started sculpting in marble.
Mm-hmm.
And look at his work.
Yeah.
So
The
anything,
drawing of Michelangelo on the body is still
yeah,
used in anatomy books. I mean, when I
right,
was in
right.
college and graduate school,
He was
I
like
would.
18 or 19 when he did that. He would go to this place where a poor hospital where they would just put the bodies and he would go in at night and
Mm-hmm.
basically do an autopsy until the monks came in the morning and then he'd scoot out
Take
of
them
it.
out. Yeah.
And then he would no he'd have to they didn't know he was doing it. So they
Yeah.
would have to he would come back and that's how before he did his first statue of Hercules.
Mm-hmm.
But John and I were lucky enough to go to Italy and see the Statue of David, and you just walk in and your jaw just drops. It's amazing. Um,
Yeah.
and he spent years doing that before he even did his first. And same thing with the Sistine Chapel. He spent years he whatever he tried to do to study before he started painting.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just so kind of that's where the book like t starts, and it just talks about how it's easier to do 10x than 2x because 2x will get you nowhere.
Yeah. So what's going to be 10x for you in the next 12 months? What's exciting you to
The exciting thing,
take your business to the 10x level?
it's working with this group to start doing ground up co-living. And I've really kind of dug my feet into focusing on fix and flips here. And it's funny. It's like all of a sudden people are sending me deals to look at. Um,
Mm-hmm.
because I told somebody we had, John and I had a home equity line. And um he sent me a small flip. It was like we could probably get it for 128 and sell it for 250, and it doesn't need a lot of work. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and so I would say, well, I'll just pay for it, with a loan from ourselves with the home equity line, and instead of doing a hard money loan and or finding private money and just
Mm-hmm.
do it that way. And so then he's like, "Oh, you guys have money? You can." Then he was like, then he sent me something today. That he said would be everything's done except the last bathroom. These people just want out. They bought 50 acres in Sumter and they want to go live off the grid and they got to get rid of this house. So I was kind of doing a little analysis like, okay, if I bought this house and I only have to fix the bathroom, how fast can I get that done and on the market? And how long are houses in this little town taking to sell, which is
Mm-hmm.
63 days. So I would have to carry that for probably 3 months from start to finish. It should take about 2 to 3 weeks to finish the work. So I've
Mm-hmm.
just trying to decide if that's something I want to take on. It's right up by Lake Moultrie, or by where a lot of people go to boat and have a lake house, but not a lot of people. I don't know a whole lot about the city because I don't know how many people actually live there, or
Yeah.
is it their like house on the lake. Um, and this house is not on the lake, so. Um, just trying to do a little of my own underwriting to see if it would be worth it or not. You
Mm-hmm.
know, he thinks his estimate was I could probably make 15 to 20, um, which isn't bad for a few months for, a little bit of work.
Yeah. So
So,
if someone is listening to this and say, what would you say is your biggest need? And if they want to reach out to you.
um, right now my biggest need is probably I'm raise capital. Um,
Okay.
we need to raise capital for our co-living. deal in Dallas, and I'd like to raise capital for to do it again here. And I think we picked Charlotte as the next market because he wants to do pad split.
Hmm.
Pad split's not in my market. It's not in South Carolina because apparently we're not a big enough market. So
Yeah. I know a guy, he's got a funny last name that starts with a Z that does capital raising once in a while. Do you know Joshua's son? You know Joshua?
Joshua's son?
Hmm.
I don't know him. I know of him.
Oh, he's the best. If you need capital raising and connection, he's the man. So
It's
that's
kind of
another text I'm going to send out to reach out to you.
I okay. I it's funny. I'm going to Salt Lake City for Jesse Stanton's Unstoppable boot camp.
Hmm.
I'm in his mastermind or Mount Everest mastermind group. And then he sent this to me, and it's walking away with a business plan, action steps for the next 90 days, a
Hmm.
capital raising pitch, and some other things. But it's like we've been meeting prior to going to Salt Lake City, which is next weekend, with homework assignments. So what was interesting is he gave us um, 12 things that we should be doing in our business, which we're doing a few. I do have all of our expenses taken care of. And we do have a CRM and KPIs for what we want to do, but it's things like, do I have a company playbook? We don't have that yet.
Yeah.
Do
Susan,
I?
do I need to get you a can to put on your desk
Yeah.
to do the other 12 steps, complete that 12 steps?
What I did say is last December, John hurt his back,
No.
and he has been out of commission. He was out of commission from December to the end of May.
Oh,
He's had
poor
four
guy.
back surgeries. Um, he physically could not do anything. Um,
Hmm.
and so everything came to a screeching halt. I became a full-time caregiver. And there were days where he had good days where he could get up and sit out in the living room for a little bit, but he
Hmm.
couldn't concentrate on anything because he was in so much pain. He had a herniated disc that we thought the first surgery would take care of. And after the surgery, he was up and walking around and great. And by the following Tuesday, we were back in the operating room again because a chunk of
Wow.
the disc had broken off.
Mm.
So, and then he made it, I think 7 weeks because we went to squat up. But he couldn't do a whole lot. He was like after sitting in the chair for a while, we were back in the room by 8 o'clock every night because he was just worn out. And then
Hmm.
um we got back from that, and like 2 weeks later, we were back in the ER again. Another piece of the disc had broken off.
Mm.
So on surgery number three, the doctor explained that he couldn't give him a cortisone shot for pain because he'd already had two in a short period of time. And so it was going to be a little bit longer recovery. Well, after that surgery, between surgery three and four, so a month, he couldn't walk more than 2 or 3 minutes at a time. It
Mm.
was just too painful. And he's like, something's not right. Something, I understand I'm supposed to be in pain. It's going to be a longer recovery, but I can't even stand up, can't walk. Um, if anybody has somebody who's bedridden, Amazon has tons of products to help you.
Good to know. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, who knew you could buy a shower cap that washed your hair? Uh,
Hmm.
just stuff like that I had no idea about. Somebody else told me about. So, um,
How's John doing now?
he's great. I mean, he just got his clearance. When we were in California, he got his 4 week check and he was doing great. And he had 2 more weeks of restricted activity, and he started PT today, but now he can like stand at his desk or sit at his desk, and the problem now is keeping him from doing too much because he's ready to go. So like
Hmm.
we just gotten everything started and lined up for the wholesaling business. We have our cold caller, we have our lead source, we have privy, we had everything ready to go, and he'd done the training. He's doing millionaire wholesaler, and and everything came to a screeching halt. So we got a hold of them, told them what was going on. So they paused everything for us. And so now he's downstairs on a training with them right now. But as soon as he had we went in the week of Memorial Day weekend, and we went and got an MRI. We go to the doctor, and he said, God, I don't even want to tell you guys this again, but it's split again. So we have to get rid of the disc. We have to do a fusion on the left
Oh,
side.
wow.
So he's like, we can do it tomorrow, or we have to wait 2 weeks. And we're like, we're doing it tomorrow. So, I've got used to it. I just packed up everything, my laptop and everything. And we spent the day and he spent the night in the hospital again. But it was after the surgery, he could walk again and he wasn't in a lot of pain. And um, it was just a long journey. So, you never know what's going on with people.
Mm-hmm. So true.
You never know. And so, we debated whether or not to join Owners Club again, but
Mm,
we decided that I would join this year and he would sit out, and then maybe next year he'll join up again just because he
yeah.
couldn't participate in anything. So,
Well, I'm glad you joined again. So,
yeah, I just felt like it was important to keep us going. Um, the people
mhm.
around here knew what was going on with John and us. So, and it's just amazing the outpouring of how can we help? How can we help? Um, but I didn't want to say, oh, come over and mow the lawn because I don't feel like doing it.
Yeah.
But, my kids and son-in-laws are here. That's what they're for, right?
Well,
Come over and
prayers
help.
and well
Yeah.
wishes for John. What
Yeah.
branch of service was he
He
in?
was in the Air Force.
Oh, man after my own heart. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for his service and the sacrifices you're making to take care of him. So,
Yeah. It was, I mean, my mom, my sister, my grandma, we're all nurses. That is not my forte.
I know.
So
I,
we both had a little learning curve. He had to learn how to be a good patient, and I had to learn how to be a good caregiver.
well, I married a doctor, so I'm always the patient and she's always the doctor. And
So,
I love that because she can take over that, that's
yeah,
yours. Yeah.
yeah,
I'm in charge of travels and things like
yeah,
that. Yeah. So,
yeah. So it's been, but we set ourselves a goal. If we reach these certain marks, um, we're gonna go take a little trip ourselves in September.
where
Um,
to?
I don't know yet. He wants it to be a surprise. So
Mm,
this is a goal for him for his 90 days that he started working, get back into his wholesaling. So um, we're just plugging along. Like, yeah, the first half of our year kind of, there were some things beyond our control, and that happens to everybody. Life,
absolutely. You're
life
just
happens.
catching your breath. You're ready to run here in a
And
minute.
so we're ready to rock and roll now. And but it's funny when you put things out there because we've also started, both of us. I write, the first thing I do when I get up is I write what I'm grateful for, and then what our lives are going to look like in 2027. So, and we kind of we were doing it kind of separately. And then I said, okay, what are you writing? Because this is what I'm writing, so that we kind of, since we're going to move into that area together, we should be
Sure.
writing some of the same things. So it's like, for example, one of the things was we have a two-story house now. And I'm like, I'd like to have a ranch house with a pool. And he's like, I agree, but I also want a media room. So now, because Maddie was like, you have to write out like you're living there now. This is what my house looks like.
Hmm.
So,
Manifesting it.
yeah, we're manifesting. So it's, we both do that first thing in the morning now, which I never really did that before. And, it's funny. It was like one of the things that Bob Proctor talks about in Change Your Paradigm is, write out what you're grateful for, but also there might be some people you're a little annoyed with that maybe need some love, and write them in down. And I was doing that, and I'll be honest, it was like my oldest daughter's going through a rough time, and we're all trying to be, as patient and as accepting as we can of her situation. But so I was like sending her some extra love. And then it was like out of nowhere, she called me up and she's like, I just want to thank you for always being there for me when I was a teenager.
Oh, that's so
I
wonderful.
was like, oh,
Yeah.
it works.
Yeah. Those are the days we parents look forward to, those little
Yeah,
comments. Yeah, that's awesome. So if anybody wants to reach out to this dynamic duo of Susan and John, what's the best way to get a hold of you? If
it
people,
would
I know
probably
people are going
be.
to want to work with you, so
Yeah, nobody wants to work with
what's the
us.
best
It's
way to
probably
reach
going to
out to you?
be a phone call, um, or to reach out to my email.
Okay,
Um,
you want to share that
our
and we'll post
website
it.
is under construction because we keep making changes. So, but if anybody needs a great website designer, the Heckle's daughter, they're in Owners Club. Her name is Janessa.
Mm-hmm.
She is wonderful at this stuff. She'll do your buy box, she'll do your website, she's linking everything together for us.
Nice. And
Um,
well, as soon as you send me the buy box, I'll have it posted
yeah, I
here.
emailed that over.
Oh, you
Um,
did? Okay.
I emailed
I
that
haven't checked my emails today yet.
and
So,
my photo over to you. But yeah, it's just, because I said, well, I want to update the buy box, but I haven't gotten to that yet. And
mhm.
um
Do you want to give a number out right now that you want
yeah,
to share with
so
people if they're listening?
so my number is 843-670-7178. And you can reach me on Instagram at Susan McGhee underscore SC.
Okay, we'll have all that at the bottom. The VAs will do their magic work
Yeah.
and all that technology stuff that a 60-year-old like me can't. It's like,
Yeah, that's yeah,
do it.
technology is not my
Yeah,
forte, but I'm
that's
learning.
awesome.
I'm learning.
Yeah, we have to. So you mentioned the breakout rooms because I did not go to Michael's breakout. I went to the AI breakout.
I
Uh,
was
yeah, it was like three doors down. There were some amazing breakout rooms. Tell
Yeah,
me
I
about
went to
which ones you
co-living.
joined, which
I
ones you
went to
attended,
co-living
and
first, and then I went to Michael's.
okay. Tell me about co-living.
Well, Tracy Coe and Dustin, who have they did the semesters for co-living. And I've had some conversations with Tracy. They've got it together. Tracy, Dustin, and Kaio. Um, they
Kyle
she
Cargis, you're talking about?
what?
You said Kyle Cargis?
Kaio, I think
Oh,
is
Kyle. Okay, yes, they're the team.
the team. So she was with the way they run their breakout room is kind of like a hot seat. So people were coming up and asking questions, and then they would answer them. So what
Mhm.
was great about that is people were asking questions I wouldn't have even thought to ask. Um, And then, so I stayed in there for like a half an hour, 40 minutes or something like that. David Ross was in there also, so he could add in some things, but they each had co-living houses on their own, and then they
Mhm.
all came together and they use pad split, but they are also doing ground up construction on pad split because then you can build the house. Um, we want to build like a duplex that each side has 4 bedrooms and 4 baths.
Mhm.
Um, so they're doing a 10 bedroom, 10 bath house ground up.
In
Um,
Houston, correct?
in Houston, I believe. Houston is a market where the city is trying to get people to move back to the city. So
Mhm.
they're a little more lenient on things. So they're a good market to be in. I think we're looking at Irving, Texas. Um, but which is right outside of Dallas proper. Um,
Mhm.
but you just have to do your research on your city, make sure there's industry and there's um, transportation by where you want to build or buy,
Mhm.
so people can get to and from work. Um, but yeah, I think it's exciting. I'm excited to get my hands wet and dig in. Um, I've done, I did an RV park training with Heather Blankenship, and I think Pace is going to do a boot camp or a challenge with RV parks. Um, I find I've never even that it didn't even cross my mind until we went to Montana. And then I thought, this is another form of affordable housing because baby boomers, people my age and older, are um, getting in RVs and traveling the country. And I have several friends of mine that that's their plan in the next couple
Hmm.
of years is to retire and get in their RV or buy an RV and travel around the country to different RV parks.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You
And
know,
so,
the stepsister to the RV park is there's some really nice mobile home parks that will serve a purpose to help the senior citizen. You know, if you take care of a mobile home park, it can be a very nice place to live.
yeah, it's funny. I would pick cities that. So I lived in Missouri, all right in Tornado Alley, and every time there was a tornado, it would hit a mobile home park. So I was like, we want to avoid that stretch of the country. I don't
Yeah.
know if it's like a magnetic field that attracts them to it or what, but I would not do one in Missouri.
Yeah. Do you
Oklahoma.
know where Normandy is in around St. Louis?
Yes.
Okay. I had a co-living kind of
Hmm.
house there. We called it crash pads for pilots. So I had a crash pad in Normandy, Missouri, right outside of the airport in
Right,
St. Louis.
north
Yeah. Pilots have been doing co-living for a long, long time.
yeah,
We
yeah.
just called it something
It's like
different.
stewardesses and nurses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just called it something different, but
Yeah.
I love the idea. Yeah.
Yeah. And we were doing reaching out to agents in St. Louis because we know the area when we lived there our whole lives.
Hmm.
Um, that's a market but it was kind of like every time I talked about St. Louis, four other people were like, "Oh, I'm going to invest in St. Louis." And so I thought, you know what? There's so many other cities in this country.
Yeah.
We'll pick
Well,
another city.
it has a special place in my heart. You know,
Yeah.
was my
I
first.
love St. Louis.
Yeah.
I miss living there because of certain things, but I don't miss the weather. I don't
We
miss the snow
definitely
and the
have four
ice.
seasons in St.
You
Louis. You know,
definitely
people
have
don't
four seasons.
realize how humid St. Louis gets because it's right in the middle of those two giant rivers, and
Yeah,
the
Missouri
summer
and Mississippi
thunderstorms are
River.
like as bad as Texas,
It
and then it
can get
gets cold in winter. That brutal.
it can be brutal. Yeah, it's I don't miss snow and ice. I really don't. And we used to live in Iowa also, so I know cold. Um and it was so funny. My granddaughter, who's 12, was saying she wanted to move to Canada when she wanted to go to school, college, and live in Canada. I said, you know, it's really cold up there. She goes, I know what cold is. I said, no, you live in South Carolina. You
No,
don't know,
that's a different cold, baby.
you
Yeah.
don't know what cold is.
Yeah.
But yeah, we lived in Iowa for 6 years, so we know cold. But yeah, I don't know. I keep asking my siblings why they still live up there in the cold, but they love
Hmm.
it. So that's home. But yeah, we're never going back to cold.
All right, I have a question. It's very personal. Are
Mhm.
you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. In most families, the oldest grandbaby gets to pick the name of grandpa and grandma because it comes out something different. And then all the other grandkids follow that name. So, what do the grandkids call you and John?
John is Papa, and
Papa,
and I'm Grandma. Now,
grandma?
they
I was
taught.
hoping for something really more exciting than
I know,
Papa
it's
and
so
grandpa.
boring, but they taught our oldest granddaughter to say Grandma because that's what our kids called their grandparents Grandma, and then their
Yeah.
name, and then so did her Stella's dad was the same way. They just called him Grandma. So, but
Hmm.
it was kind of funny. My granddaughter, who's 3, out of the blue, she started calling me Meemaw, and I don't know where that
Sounds like
came
South
from.
Carolina.
And I was like, because we called John's grandma Meemaw.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it lasted for like a year. She would call me Mima. At first, I didn't know who she was talking. She would be calling me Mom, and my daughter would go, Mom, she's calling you, and I'm like, oh, okay.
I'm
I'm
Mima now, right?
calm
Yeah.
that. But every once in a while, it slips out. She'll call me Mima, but she still calls me Grandma. Now she'll start calling me grandma because she hears the older ones calling me grandma.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Everyone asks, like, oh, don't you hate being called that? And I was like, no, it's what I am. It's fine. I have no problem with it.
When my
Annie,
kids
I
were
might have
young,
a problem with. Grandma, I don't.
well, when my kids were young, my mother-in-law was Mimi. And
Mhm.
when my mom said, I want the kids to call me Mamani, because mom in Persian, Mamani. Well, my oldest daughter couldn't say Mamani, so she kept saying Manani. And now everybody else just calls her Manani
Mm,
because Audrey, 20 some odd years ago,
yeah. Well,
couldn't
that's
say.
uh, I have a sister named Mimi, so we don't use Mimi or Mimi,
Yeah.
grandparents. But I'm the only one out of all my siblings that has grandkids right now. Um, but yeah, John, I mean, it was just always grandma um, and Samantha. At one point, we were like, well, I thought I wanted to change what the kids called me when the second grandchild was going to be born, and she's like, you can't change it now, She calls you grandma.
Well, this video is going to be on YouTube forever. So let's mention the names of the grandbabies and see where they go. What are
Oh
the
yeah.
names?
There's Stella. She's 12. Oliver is 5. Freya is 3. Jack will be 2 in a couple weeks, and Callista is 1.
God bless. So of
Yeah.
all the grandbabies, which one is the most like grandma? I'm not
Probably
saying you have a favorite, but
no. The one that's
sometimes the
most
DNA
like
just
me is
comes out where,
probably I would say Callista, the little one. Yeah, I had all girls growing up, so the boys are just
it's
a whole new
different.
adventure.
It's a different animal. Yeah. I had all girls, and my sister, before she passed away, she just had twin boys.
Oh,
And those boys were just something else. But now they're beautiful young men. But
yeah, yeah.
when
I
they
grew
were
up in a
twins,
house full
and
of sisters and then had all girls. And so
they're
uh,
just a different animal. Boys are just a
it is,
different.
it's totally different. And it's so funny when they're all together. Um, the dynamic is just
Hmm.
it's so much fun to watch. But there's, a big age gap between Stella and Oliver. So it's been fun watching because Stella evolve into the young woman that she is becoming and
Nice.
all the different things that she wants to try. Her newest passion is playing the electric guitar.
I bet you
So,
loved Christmas, don't you, with everybody around you?
every year I buy
I,
matching pajamas for them and
that's so cute.
take a picture.
Yeah, I want to go to McGee's for a Christmas someday and just take a picture with all the
It's kind of weird. We
matching clothes.
still we still miss seeing, like, I think one Christmas we went to the beach. I mean, it was like it's still kind of weird for us, even though we've been here 15 years, that it's not
Yeah. For
cold.
your grandbaby who wants to go to Canada, yeah. You don't go to beach on Christmas in Canada.
No, no,
Yeah,
not
it's different,
going
baby.
ice fishing, I guess. But
It's just different.
yeah, it's just different. I mean, and it gets chilly here. I mean, we have a couple of days where it gets to like 32,
Hmm.
but it doesn't
Yeah.
last long. Like, you wear a coat in the morning and a sweater in the afternoon. That's kind of the way it is. But
Yeah.
I yeah, I don't ever want to shovel snow again.
Yeah, as you know, in Seattle, because we're right next to the water, all that warm humidity prevents from snow coming down. But
Mhm.
as soon as you go across the Cascade, the mountain effect, it just dumps on the other side. So, there's Washington is literally two different states because of
Yeah.
Cascade Mountains
I
down.
just remember when we went
I
to
love
visit
it here.
in Seattle when he was there for work, we like got off the plane. We're like, oh my God, everything is so green. It's
It
just
is. This is it's scary. Like it's 80s sometimes. It's really warm out here. I'm being sarcastic. Yeah.
yeah, I would love it to be 80. It's like 90 something here with
Yeah.
100% humidity.
Why don't you and John come here during summer and winter? We'll go to South
Yeah, yeah.
Carolina and hang out with
We'll
you
swap
guys.
houses.
That's right. Well,
We
that's
we
actually my wife's plan is for us to be here during summer and winter, we're actually looking either to Texas or Arizona to stay. But it all depends on how many RV parks and mobile home parks I buy in the next 5 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
I might be a South Carolinian, so I don't
You
know.
never know. I mean, I
Well,
was
you're amazing. I want to be
driving
respectful of
around
your
and seeing how
time.
many RV parks were around areas I'd never, like we were driving through like these back roads the other day and I kept coming across these RV parks. I said, they're all jam packed.
Hmm. Yeah, in
They're
this
not in the middle
area,
of
you're
nowhere.
basically living in a national park. I mean, it's just so beautiful here. This is definitely a destination
Yeah.
here in
Yeah.
South
Oh,
Carolina as well. What a beautiful state, especially where you're at
it's
right
yeah,
now.
the coast and Greenville is beautiful because it not only has it has lakes and it has mountains.
Hmm.
So you get a little of everything.
Yeah.
And they have more
The
seasons.
hurricanes are rare. So people who are going through that weather right now, it just doesn't
Hey,
happen.
I would tell you in the 15 years that we have been here, we evacuated for the very first one 15 years ago.
That's a way to start. Yeah.
And yeah, it was, you don't know what to expect. And so we evacuated and went to Greenville with a lot of other people and had a great time. My husband calls it the hurricane. And
It's a party. Let's
we
all
had a great
go.
time in Greenville.
Yeah.
But I have a friend who's a weathercaster, and she said, unless it's a hurricane, category 4, you don't need to leave. So, I live about 4 miles from the beach. Um,
That does not suck.
our neighborhood has never flooded. Um, sometimes it's really inconvenient. Like our daughter's wedding got postponed because a hurricane came in that weekend. Um,
Hmm.
and it was weird. People were like evacuating and the vendors were canceling everything, and then it just misted.
There's a little
So
bit of excitement, as if having a wedding and planning a wedding wasn't exciting enough.
let's
Uh,
add a little more stress to that
yeah,
week.
it would add more stress to the poor bride.
But we rescheduled it. All the vendors were like, yeah, whenever you can reschedule. I mean, because people are just used to that here. It's like it happens and it's built into the contracts. But yeah, we haven't had, knock on wood, a major hurricane hit here. Charleston is kind of like in a little alcove of the state. And so a lot
Hmm.
of things hit below us and above us.
Yeah,
Um,
jets out that part of South Carolina.
yeah. So Myrtle Beach gets hit a lot more and like up towards Wilmington,
Hmm.
North Carolina gets hit a lot more than we do.
Yeah, one of my best friends lives in Savannah,
Mhm.
and I just love going over there and hanging
Oh yeah,
out.
Savannah's a great
Yeah.
city. I like
Well,
the way the city is
Susan,
built.
I really appreciate your time. I got a chance to meet you. The point of this podcast was my selfish reason, wanting to get to know everybody, get to know super, awesome couples like you and John. So I appreciate your time. Is
Thank
there
you.
anything else you want to talk about before I ask you the question that
So I
Io
think
wants to ask you?
I need to get my own podcast going, but we'll see.
Why not? Let's do it. Let's
I
sign
was
me
like,
up.
I think I know what I'm going to call it.
What are you going to call it?
Why not me?
Why
Yeah,
not
whatever you
me?
like. Yeah, why not me? Why can't I invest in this? Why
Absolutely.
can't
That
I
sounds
buy?
like a start of a beautiful podcast. Why not start it in your 60s like I am?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, well, that's the one thing I like about Owners Club is there's such a diversity of age. It's not just a younger group or an older group. It's everything in between. And everybody's excited to work with everybody else. They don't care what your age is or age doesn't really play a factor in it,
No.
which I think is great. Um, so I think sometimes being a little mature, we might be a little more cautious than others, but um, other than that, I just think I just love it because there's such a diversity. Uh,
Hmm.
backgrounds and age and everything and what people want to do. And I've met such wonderful people. Uh,
Absolutely.
Ronnie
This is kind of a rare
Letterman and I
group.
walked up that mountain together
Nice. It's kind
because
of a rare group
I had a
because,
knee surgery, so I was moving a little slower. And she had something else too that was we were just like we just kind of hung back and just did it in our own time and so like we kind of
nice.
bonded over that. So now every time I see her it's like a reunion.
I stepped on, I spoke over you. What is the name of the person that helped you?
Ronnie
Okay,
Lynn. Yeah. She's
cool. Shout
she's
out
a
to
cool
her.
lady. Yeah. We climbed that peak or whatever in the Glacier National Park together. We were the last ones up the mountain, but we did it.
Well, I probably saw you guys because Casey Savage and I did it twice. We
Oh,
went up to the
okay.
top and there was nobody there because we were early. And we're like, well, maybe they're meeting down there. You know how far it was
Yeah.
from the lake. So we come down. Now everybody decides to go the other way, go up. Casey and I look at each other and it's like, let's do it again. That was fun. Though,
It
Terry
was,
and my
I am
wife are like,
glad we
you
did
guys go
it.
ahead. We're going to go in the car.
Yeah, when we were coming down, a herd of rams came across
No, no, that was beautiful.
walking. And it
What a
was
special time that was.
it
Yeah.
was so beautiful. And we just kind of like took our time to stop and look around and see what was going on. And instead of just rushing up to the top and
Yeah. And we got to go to Jerry Norton's house, and he was
yeah,
so gracious, had everybody over at his
yeah,
lake
I,
house. What an amazing family. I love the
he's wonderful.
Nortons.
I'm in his flipping mastery group and he's just such a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah.
And so giving, him and his wife. So we haven't been able to make it to their retreat thing yet. Everything due to John's illness. Just, we tried 3 times and it was like over the past 6 months and we just didn't work out. So hopefully the next one we'll make it to.
You will. John's just catching his breath. He's
He
going to be
is.
fine.
It's such a relief. I mean, everybody in the family is like, oh, every time they see a picture of him standing, like I posted a picture of him at the barbecue on the 4th, and my sisters were like, oh my God, it's so good to see him standing up.
Nice, nice.
So,
Well, it's been wonderful. Please forward me your buy box so we can share that with people that are listening and any headshots.
yeah.
Um, my VA does all those magical thumbnails and
Yeah. Oh,
interviews and
good
all
for
that.
her.
That I
Yeah,
have no
I did
idea.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the cool thing is in Owners Club, there's somebody that has the solution you're looking for.
Right.
We've mentioned it several times in Monterey and here in these podcasts. Like, it's not, it's a who, not the what, or, you know, there's always a someone that can
You're
solve your
amazing. Because
problem.
I was getting a drink of water on one of our breaks, and Chris Denton walked up to me and said, hey, what are you working on? And I told him like about my conversation at breakfast that morning. He said, hey, I have a builder in Dallas. Let me send you. So it's amazing once you like
Yeah.
open your mouth and start telling people what you're doing. What?
It's hard to explain what happens in these rooms. It's just not just in the breakout room, but in the hallway where everybody's working in a group,
Mhm.
focused on something, and you just listen to the conversation and you go, "Wow, man, there's some amazing people in this group," and I am so
Yeah.
glad to be. I feel honored to be in the owners club and
Oh,
with amazing people like you and John. So
it's been
inspiring.
one of the better, and the thing I love about joining sub two is it never ends. You
Mm-hmm.
join and you're in. Um, there's no, oh, now we need you to pay again, or now we need you to
Mm-hmm.
pay again. So that's what I love about sub two. And um, it's great to see, working with other people that are that are in sub two and not in owners club also. So
Mm-hmm.
um, there's people doing extraordinary things and it's just fun to watch.
Yeah, and what Josiah, Nick, Jamil, and Pace have done with this owners club, it's just amazing. I'm so thankful. One of the things you mentioned about how different this owners club is something that Pace mentions, and you notice it right away, is the percentage of female investors in real estate. That's not like that in most meetups you go or masterminds. The amount of it's what 40 to 50% almost of the owners club are female investors.
Well, I think part of that, at least like when I was raising my kids. I was very fortunate. I stayed home with my girls until my youngest went to kindergarten, and then I went to culinary school.
Hmm.
So, this is something that you can do from home. You don't have to be, you don't have to have the 9 to 5 job in order to do this. You can be with your family, raise your family, and men too. I mean, are staying home and doing this and and do this and make a living at it, and it doesn't have to interfere with anything else. So that's the great thing about being an entrepreneur is, I mean, I sometimes I say I wish we would have been exposed to this 20 years ago or 30 years ago. It would have been a game changer for us. I wouldn't have gone and worked um, a full-time job somewhere else for somebody else. Um,
Yeah.
and I could have, been there for my kids and not missed some of the things that they were involved in. Because at one point we were just like, it's your turn, my turn, your turn, my turn.
Right. Right.
Um, but I was grateful for the time that I did get to stay home with my kids and be the room mom and be the choir mom and do all that stuff. Um, I got a little bit of both. But yeah, when my youngest went to kindergarten, I went to culinary school and then went back to work. Um, I went back to work like 3/4 time while my kids were still in school, and then back to full time when we moved here.
Well,
So,
for all the stay-home moms and stay-home dads that are out there, look into Sub 2 Gator Owners Club because we would love to do business with you. So come on in
yeah,
and join. This has really been an exceptional group that I've joined.
great
I had
support
I had the
system.
similar thoughts what you just said today. Literally, I was in the Costco checking out, and I had exactly the same thought. And I was like, man, if I had found this organization or this group 20 years ago, how my life would have been different. But
Mhm.
I don't know if I would have appreciated it as much as I do
I don't
now.
know. I don't know if we would have been
Yeah.
in the right frame of mind, but maybe
Yeah.
we would have. I mean, John's got a friend who's been doing this real estate investing. He always worked a full-time job, but he started doing real estate investing in the little town in Iowa we lived in. He would buy houses for college students to live in. And he's done a lot of now he buys businesses. Um, is what he does. He retired from
Mhm.
his corporate job and he buys businesses. Um, and but when he was doing that, he was single, had a lot of disposable income. And John and I got married. We were 25 and 27, which doesn't happen a lot anymore.
Yeah.
And
We were 23 and 21. My wife and I got married.
had a child 2 years in, and we were in a different space.
Hmm.
So Um, but I would like to think that, yeah, maybe we would have been more receptive to having a support system around us instead of just trying to
Yeah.
go.
Well, if 20 years ago you had found this, you would have been too big for me to meet you today. So I'm glad you didn't take action till recently. So I got a chance to meet you and
That is
hang
not
out with
true.
you.
I
Yeah.
don't think anybody's like they say, your attitude, you belong in every room that you walk through the door. Um,
Hmm.
I don't know if you were lucky if you've been to Pace's house, but uh,
Yes.
seeing him when we did Day with Pace, it was just like, it was just this guy, he wears jeans and sweatshirts and tennis shoes. And yeah, he's incredibly driven and he's incredibly smart. But when you sit down and have a taco with him, he's just like the guy next to you, the other guy on the other side of you. So,
Hmm.
um, like Jerry Norton was posting some pictures of Pace weeding his yard.
What else is there to do in modern,
In Montana.
in Montana, just cut weeds and hang out with your best friend.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
was going to say drink beer, but they don't drink beer.
they
So
don't drink. So yeah, but they
Diet Coke, that's their beer.
Diet
Yeah.
Coke. But yeah, I mean, just like, that's what's kind of there's no pretension there. So,
Mhm.
which is really nice, refreshing, which kind of emulates throughout the whole group. Uh,
Hmm.
Nobody is better than somebody else. Some people are more successful or on a different path or a higher path. They walk the path a little bit farther than you have, but everybody is so open to sharing and
Yeah.
you learn that you don't get that. There's this elitist section. Now, I used to be in multi-level marketing. I used to sell Pampered Chef, and there definitely was some of that.
Hmm. Yeah.
Um,
We text Pace all the time. I
yeah.
text them all the time. And by the way, whoever's listening, Jamil loves getting dirty jokes texted to him. So I'm making that up, but I want to see how many people text Jamil some jokes.
I said the dirty jokes. Yeah.
Dirty jokes or, dad jokes, whatever.
Well, here's the great
I
thing.
want
Your
his phone to blow
personalities are
up and
so
for him
different.
to
They
go,
balance each other
darn
so
it, Sean,
well. Yeah, yeah, send Pace a picture of your feet. Um, they, like from
I
Jamil
have my
comes
golf
at you.
shoes on right after
Yeah,
this. Go.
I go on slippers. But like Jamil comes at you at a totally different thing, like the what we did, the what was it called? Manifestation or
Wasn't
meditation.
that session amazing with Jamil?
It was incredible.
It was, yeah, he is special. Jamil is
I
special.
have sitting next to my desk from the very first Owners Club retreat, the 23 days of practices. So every day I look up on it, and today is practice being unoffendable.
I like
So
that.
um, I always look at it and I share it with a lot of people because it's such a great thing. And one of the things is embrace and celebrate a breakdown. So when you have
Mm.
a massive breakdown, that means a massive breakthrough is about to happen. So
That's right. You got to sharpen the steel. And
yeah, yeah. So it's just something I can look over at and go, okay, what's today? All right, that's what I'm doing today.
all right. I don't want to take too much of your time. I've already taken way too much, and I appreciate you
Oh gosh.
spending
Yeah,
this time with me. I do want to ask you the question I wanted to ask you. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. Time to be vulnerable.
Oh, okay.
Give an example of a partnership that has been good or a bad experience and how you handled it. What was the takeaway and what did you learn from a bad partnership or a
Okay.
good partnership?
A bad partnership. Like I said, we had a bad partnership, so we haven't had any others. Um, we were part owners in a coffee house where I was the pastry chef and 20% owner of the business. And this was 2008. So um, things kind of went sour after that.
Hmm. For a lot of people.
Economy
Yeah.
for a lot of people. But it was um, a lot of hard work, opening something from scratch. And my partner, we were in tune until we weren't. And I'll never forget, she came up to us and said, "Oh, by the way, I've decided to file a chapter 7 bankruptcy. Good luck. And you might want to get a lawyer." Um,
Wow.
yeah.
So
So,
how did you deal with that and how did you pivot? Because I'm sure there are a lot of people like, so what did you do, Susan?
right. So first there was panic.
Then you take a deep breath.
And then you take a deep breath and you go, what do I do? I called a lawyer. So the first lawyer I called, I heard, don't ever do this. I heard on the radio. And so John and I went down there and we presented what was going on. And they're like, okay, we think we can take you on. So then we went back to it for a second meeting and they had us sit in this room for like an hour. Nobody came to talk to us. We're like, what's going on? And then they came to us and said, well, your partner, we actually figured out your partner came to us the day before you did.
So they
And
had,
so we can't represent you. And I'm
yeah.
like, "So it took you an hour for it to leave us sitting in this room by ourselves."
Yeah. Sounds fishy, doesn't it?
Saying I was infuriated. And so I was like, okay. But it worked out for the best because somebody in my Sunday school class recommended an attorney for me. Um, and we went and met with him, and he made everything so seamless and so easy that I didn't have to worry about anything. And it
What's
was
his name?
his name was Jim Day, and in St. Louis. And um he made the whole what just laid everything out for us, told us what our options were, and just held our hand through everything. And I stopped, we ended our partnership, and I stopped working there immediately, and because I wasn't going to give them my time anymore. Um we ended up selling the business, but it was a hard lesson. I mean, I look back and I think there's things we should have done when we were setting up the partnership.
Like
Um,
what? Would you mind sharing that? So if someone's listening
well,
and
I would have
they can learn
I
from
would have
the
asked
trials you went through.
for more detailed information on her books. Um, she owned the business, and then she was looking for a partner to come in with some money, so we could expand. So I had worked for her in her we had this little tiny shop, and
Hmm.
we wanted to expand it into our own storefront. And she was looking for a partner, and she approached us to see if we wanted to be partners. So I would have examined had an accountant examine the books
Sure.
more closely than what we did, because I mean, I worked there. I knew what was coming in every day, but that was one mistake. I did hire a lawyer to look at the partnership agreement, and before we signed it, and everything seemed up and up, but I would not have um um she was under the impression, because she owned 80% of the business, that she had control over everything.
Hmm.
But the way
You're just a money person.
I was just somebody who brought in some money and was working. So I didn't get paid. We didn't pay ourselves because there wasn't money for that. We just worked there. Um, I would have, there was some marketing. She thought she was a marketing genius, and she did no marketing, but I think she made some marketing mistakes, and it cost us in the long run. Um, but I mean, I don't regret my time there because I learned a lot. Um, but I also learned how to, number one, vet your partner uh, very closely, because
Hmm.
I've had people ask me to be partner that I just met, and I'm like, I just met you. I don't,
Or
it's
they want 150,000 for their fix and flip right
yeah,
away. The same
it's
meetup.
kind
I'm
of,
like, dude, I don't even know you. Yeah.
I don't know you. I don't know how you do business. So I was explaining to a friend of mine that, like, this isn't why I haven't done any partnerships, because I got burned really bad
Hmm.
the first time. And so now I just wait until I know somebody really well and I know how they work before I'll um, partner with them. So this year, like, I've known these people for over a year now, so I feel comfortable partnering with them.
Yeah. Well, you got a powerful group. You picked a really good partners
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
ownership. So,
So I mean, I talk to Adriana all the time. Um, we bonded at Day with Pace, and there's certain people in Owners Club I would partner with in a heartbeat.
besides
Um,
me,
what?
besides
Just,
me,
yeah, besides you.
of course.
What? I don't know. Do you know Jose Cortez? I would partner with
Maybe.
him. He's somebody that I think is very solid. Um, and we've became really good friends.
Nice.
Um, and he knows John. And so it's just kind of like, you vet your partners if they want you to. I mean, find out their financials, find out what they've done and how fast they've done it, and how fast they've paid back their loans, and what they've made, and just,
Yeah.
You have to do your own due diligence when it comes to a partnership and make sure that your agreement, everybody understands what's in the agreement because my partner did not understand that she thought she could go out and open more cafes without me. I called my lawyer and he said, she can't make a move without you. She doesn't realize that but that was written into your contract, your agreement. Um, so I just sat back. I didn't say anything to her. I just kind of sat back and went, okay, where are you going to get the
Hmm.
money for that? But so she wrote that she had her attorney write the contract, but didn't even know what was in it. So, and then tried to hold it over my head. And
Hmm.
so it was things like that. I would know your JV agreement or your partnership agreement backwards and forwards so you both understand what it says and what each
Hmm.
person's responsibility is. Um, I think somebody asked us to partner with them on a co-living and or John asked if they would partner with us and they came back with, well, you can either give 100% of the funding and we'll take over management and everything else and run the property and it'll be a 50-50 split. And I'm like, no, I don't agree with that.
Hmm.
Or, we can go in together, split all the expenses, hold it for 2 to 5 years, and then sell it, or one buy out the other.
Hmm.
And I said I like that a little bit better. Um, but yeah, I'm never going to be the one that just brings the money again and does nothing else if I'm in the thick of it. Uh,
Hmm.
that's different than doing an investment, like a fractional investment, where there's a lot of people bringing a small amount of money to create something bigger. But now I've learned, I've done a few fractional investments, and now when I do a fractional, um, I want to make sure that I'm going to learn what they're doing. Like that has to be part of it.
Yeah. So for
Um,
people who are listening, are you saying fractional meaning JVing together or using the fractional platform?
a fractional platform. So a lot of people are doing the fractional platform. So like with Tracy Koa and Dustin Gorski, you can join their fractional platform and they will show you what they're doing, teach you what they're doing for co-living. So you learn while you invest.
Hmm.
I like that. We just did an investment with Casey Gregerson, fix and flips, and how
Hmm.
he lives in Houston, but he's doing fix and flips in Wyoming. How are you doing these, you know, virtual flips and creating a great business out of it? So that was part of joining his fractional funding was not only will I earn some money back,
Hmm.
but I'm going to learn how he's doing it along the way, which is important to me. Uh,
Absolutely.
so, Tracy Gunn's, the candy store was just something fun for me. Who doesn't want to own a candy store?
Oh, I know. I was trying to, as soon as we came back from Montana last summer, I went to my daughter, middle daughter, Emma, who was just graduating from college. I'm like, honey, you got to start a candy store. I want to meet you. I want you to meet Tracy. But my daughter had other plans. But
Yeah, I mean, I was amazed when we were in Monterey how many candy stores there were. And what was fun was I was walking around with Tracy and we were walking into candy stores and she goes, okay, we're going to have like a little lesson about what's good and what's bad. Why you wouldn't want to do something or why you would want to do something. So it was
she knows
interesting.
her stuff, man.
She does, and it was interesting watching how her brain worked. Um, so, it wasn't a big investment, but it was so much fun. I thought this is so much fun.
It is.
Why not have some fun with it? Doesn't always have to be the most serious investment. You can do something that's fun. Um, so I mean, I carpooled with Candace Farrell, who's in North Carolina, and we were talking about maple syrup farms in Vermont on our 2 hour drive to San Francisco. So
This
it,
community is amazing. The kind of stuff that we talk about and do, we actually do it. It's
yeah, I mean, I would never have thought in a million years I'd be driving from Monterey to San Francisco and having a conversation about maple syrup farms in Vermont.
Canada, even Vermont, yeah. And yeah, wow. Good stuff. Susan, I really enjoyed
Right.
my time with you.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about or
No, no, it's all good.
press or push or a
No,
book? Thing?
we're just looking for I'm looking for fix and flip properties in South Carolina, but we don't allow wholesaling here, so
Oh, really? It's
no,
illegal, right?
illegal
Or
in South Carolina.
yeah,
Um, I know people talk about ways around it, but I have a real estate license, so I have to keep everything kosher.
yeah.
So
Just just use fractional. It's
yeah,
fractional is awesome.
yeah,
You just make it for that people at capital raise or
yeah,
is they do all the work. I love it. So
yeah. So that's kind of, I'm looking for that. And I'm also looking to do fix and flips in Savannah because it's just a couple hours from here. So Georgia has different rules. Um, but yeah, I mean, that's kind of where we're at. We're looking for co-living properties. If you come, like a 4 bedroom, 3 bath ranch style house um, to do co-living in that's already built that we can modify if we need to. I know some people modify them and some
mhm.
people um, so I like the communal living thing a little bit better than just a bedroom and a bath, but
Yeah.
um,
Well,
especially if you're doing seniors, I think you have
yeah. I
it.
was going to say you've already touched on this. It's going to be important for a lot of seniors to
Yeah.
have good affordable housing.
And
And
they need that connection because like my mom she lived in independent living, but they all had their own apartments. So
mhm,
downstairs was like a area where they could all get together, but a lot of times they were just in their rooms and luckily there was somebody in the building that would check on everybody if they hadn't seen him in a few days.
mhm,
So, but yeah, I mean, it was, unless you made the effort to come out of your room and walk down the hallway or go downstairs, you didn't, you were just living
yeah.
by. So it
Yeah,
was kind of nice
that's a
for her.
huge problem for senior citizen, that being that disconnected. Yeah.
Hmm.
So if you can
Because,
get
none
them,
of us lived in Florida.
yeah,
So
some of them have lost their partner, life partner, and they just don't want to make friends, but you really do. You gotta
they need
grab the
to.
next person in the next apartment and go do for a walk or whatever.
Yeah, she had a little group. They would go to the movies or they would
Nice.
go to lunch. My sister would pile them all in her car and take them to lunch um, once a month, or something like that. But as she got older and less mobile, it was
Mhm.
harder for her um, to get out. And, then we had to move her to assisted living and then a nursing home. So, um, when they get to, it's just
It's tough.
if you find a good facility, they'll engage the people that are there. That's the
Yeah.
truth.
I was talking to Io, and just about everybody
Mhm.
has a family member who's in a facility that they're not crazy about.
Right. Well, it's
And,
kind of
and it's
like
going to take people in the owners club to solve that problem. And I truly believe this room has enough
I think so. If you
power.
could create an assisted living facility and I know it's all about money because they get their funding from Medicaid and Medicare,
Hmm.
Social Security, and not there's not a lot of some of these people that are in these places, you have to pick what you can afford. There are some very beautiful assisted living, but you better have some deep pockets.
Hmm.
Even with like my mom as a lower income, it was almost $5,000 to $6,000 a month. Um, and then
A salary
whatever,
for most families.
whatever Medicare and Medicaid didn't cover, her Social Security covered. Um, but yeah, it's expensive. And they had a hard time keeping staff and um, so
Yeah. So there's not quality
big dilemma.
people taking care of your family members.
Yeah.
There's
So
a
that's what,
revolving door of nurses and
yeah,
caretakers. Then
it's
it's
hard work and
yeah,
it's low pay, I guess. I don't know, but that's why John and I felt it was so important. Yes, we have an okay, we're going to have a good retirement, knock on wood, but we want to make sure that we aren't dependent on what the stock market does,
yeah.
our retirement funds.
Yeah,
So,
you've got to diversify. So
yeah.
when investors call me and ask about investing in real estate, I always ask them, I said, this is a very unique asset class and make sure you're diversified. You have the stocks, you have the
Mhm.
whatever
You
you
have a
want to
little bit of
invest.
everything.
You
Yeah.
gotta have a little bit of everything. I wouldn't recommend a money manager. I'm an index. I've been trading options on the index for 15 years. But I'm I'm talking my book. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. It's different when it's your money versus somebody else's. Yeah.
before we leave, do you have a question you want to ask the next guest, or you want to pick a number from from 1 to 1,000?
Let's pick a number. How,
Okay, this is according to ChatGPT.
oh,
Three
okay.
questions asked of in a podcast. So pick a number.
843.
Is there something special about
Yeah,
843? I'm not
it's
a
my
numerologist.
it's my area code.
843. All
Yeah.
right, Mima,
Yeah.
Grandma, thank you so much. Tell Papa
Thank
I said
you.
hello.
I will. Thank
And
you, Sean.
thank you so much for this
All
great afternoon conversation.
right.
Thank you.
See you next time.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey there. You made it. Thank you for watching or listening to this podcast. Now that I have your attention, do me a favor and subscribe and follow us and give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this episode. Comment below. Let us know what you found interesting and follow us on Instagram at Sean Ziari.